Howdy all, Moloch's Lives. I think it's time to play a little 7 Days to Die with my finally acquired iron tools. Alright, I need some lumber. I know it's nighttime. I don't normally play it at nighttime, but I need lumber. I think it'll be okay to wander out and get some lumber as I run away from the building and look up to make sure it's not Horde Night. It was not. Man. Well, I ran into my first, super annoying bug in Starfield after 100 and whatever 150 plus hours I'm into the game. One of my quests is bugged and the quest marker doesn't move, so now I can't find where the spaceship went to. It apparently moves randomly around. It's not a main quest, so I'm not torn over it. Apparently there's some command codes you can type in to force it to spawn. But, yeah. I thought that was pretty crazy. Ooh, I saw the trailer for the new Penguin series coming to HBO. A huge fan of Batman. And, so when that new movie came out, was it last year before there? I thought it was okay. I felt the end of it was a little dumb. I didn't understand the whole I'm gonna flood this city concept. Didn't really make a lot of sense to me. Like, why? But, don't beep at me. You plant this tree. And, but my favorite part in the movie was the penguin. I can't believe it's Colin Farrell. I still can't believe it's Colin Farrell. He's just so good in that movie. Like, insanely good as the penguin. I just don't understand how I've never seen him as that kind of an actor. And I'm blown away at how good of a job he does as that character. And so they've got the HBO Max, whatever it's called now, series coming this fall, about that particular character, played by Colin Farrell again. And, oh, the trailer was just so good. I like a good, mobster kind of storyline when it's done well. I was a huge fan of Sopranos back when Sopranos was a thing. But, yeah, I just really, really impressed with that trailer, with the penguin sitting around telling a story about the neighborhood respect that the mafioso boss that controlled his part of town when he was growing up got when he was a kid. I'm looking forward to that. I hope it's good. The trailer makes it seem like it's gonna be. Not that you can tell from the trailers, but you know. Sometimes. I don't know if I got enough lumber. I was working on getting these blocks, and I expanded the platform out a little bit here. Uh, saw the trailer for the V Rising event. That's the game we play in my gaming group currently. I'm not sure what to think of it. I don't think I've been playing while they were doing one of these, so I don't know exactly what it means, but apparently they're bringing Simon Belmont to the game, who's my favorite Belmont. I absolutely loved Castlevania 2 back in the days of the Nintendo. I loved that game. It was so good. I liked the other Castlevania games as well. I haven't really played a lot of the more modern ones. Even when I say modern ones, I haven't played a lot of the PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3 era ones, to be honest. So mostly Nintendo, Super Nintendo era. And I liked them, but Castlevania 2 was just... I don't know. I love the storyline in that particular one. I guess that's the other ones don't... Well, I mean, the more what I call modern ones, you know, more modern than the original Nintendo, clearly have a better storyline than the older ones. But the first one and the third one didn't really have much of a storyline. Like, you'd have the little story in the book, and that would be it. Okay. I think I'm ready to head out. And since we're going to be doing a little travel, I will... Still don't have a headlamp, unfortunately. Need to get one of those. Dude, will you go down the ladder? Thank you. Okay, where's the little town I was going to? Oh, it's north. Okay. The north is where we'll head. So yes, I'm looking forward to that. It makes me a little nervous because, you know, Simon Belmont killed Dracula. I don't know that my guy's on the same level as Dracula. So, like I said, I don't know what it's gonna mean to add Simon Belmont to the game. Like, is he just gonna be a one-off, wandering around kind of character, or is he gonna hunt us down? Like, I don't know. Oh crap. Okay, I can't. Great. Listen, I couldn't back up, okay? Apparently the bicycle does not go backwards. I was trying to back up on the bike, and my guy was like, yeah, we're just not going back up that hill, okay? It's not happening, man. We're not, And then my gun wasn't loaded, and... It was just a mess. Oh, my bike is... Oh, it's over here. Yeah. Wait, where'd all those guys I shot down go? Did I kill none of them? Look at... You can't back up this hill. This is me in fast backup. Listen, ladies. Maybe I should have stayed on the road. I was just trying to find the... There isn't really a road... Whoa, it's behind me. Oh, I see. Well, there's the big road right here. I'll take the big road here. Yep, good old Simon Belmont. I think some of the reason I probably love that game was... I've been playing video games a long time. Alright? And... You know, when I first started playing video games, you had games where you moved a square block around the screen, or you went to the arcade and you put quarters in a machine. Those are your two options. If you wanted guys that look like guys, you went to the arcade. If you were fine with moving boxes around the screen, you could play at home. And so, you know, that was really it. And you know, the old Atari that I had at home didn't really have a lot of games. I don't know that I had any games. I feel like it must have had some games that could remember. Oh, I thought that was a zombie walking toward me, not a weird looking deer. I thought that was a blonde woman in a yellow dress staggering toward me. it was not. It was an ugly deer. And so, you know, maybe some of my love of Simon's Quest, Castlevania 2, was the fact that you could move back and forth through the game, and you have to go out and earn stuff. Hearts is what you paid for things with. You go out and spend your hearts to upgrade your whip or stuff like that. And you know, and then when you get to the end of the day, you got to get to a spot to save your game, and you know, then you come back later, put your cartridge in, start it back up, and remember where you left off, kind of thing. Whereas the other Castlevania games, you know, Castlevania 1, I don't think Castlevania 3 either. Both of those were just like standard Nintendo games where there were no saves, and if you shut it off, you were done. Which is crazy because some of those games would take, you know, hours to beat. And it's crazy to me that there weren't saves. I mean, like, Mega Man didn't have saves, but it had passwords. Bases loaded? No. It wasn't bases loaded. Maybe it was. I don't know. There was a baseball game I played where it had passwords. Especially like the one time I cracked a game password was the basis loaded one. I figured out which one was the money command and was able to give myself lots of money for my team. Not the money command, but the money part of the password. But yeah. I own a bunch of the Castlevanias on my Steam account now. I bought the Castlevania collector stuff, but you know, I'm really good at buying games. I'm not so good at taking the time to play them. Although to be fair, work has been, you know, super busy for over a year now, and you know, so I barren land coal mining. Okay, I've got to check out a coal mine. That seems weird. Hand, pick this up. Dude, I swear I saw a bird up in the sky. Does this thing go down in the ground like in an actual mine? Um, yeah, and then this week's V Rising has been interesting. Um, do you really want me to jump down? Yes, so. The Zahn hasn't been on, so it's just been me and Dim. Woo! He yeah, I know he's the thing I usually talk about because when I work and then I play games with the guys like 3 nights of the week. That's my whole week is work and playing games with those guys, and so this is actual coal. I might need to take this with me. And so when it's just me and Dim, so we actually, you know what? He wasn't on Sunday, so we played Conan. Me and Zahn. Oh man, that Conan game is something else. Let me tell you. A lot of it's pretty cool, but for whatever reason, when I respawn, I often can't move upon respawning. And it's got this weird thing where maybe I need to look into it. But it seems like when I die and have to respawn, it automatically moves Zahn. So I don't know what the deal is. I'm gonna have to look into the settings, maybe server settings or something, to try and stop that from happening. But yeah, it gets pretty weird. Interesting. And I don't know, it seems like there was some kind of update to the game as well, because we're at the point where we're trying to get iron for tools and weapons, and it spawns along like this river north of our base, according to what I looked up online. And the problem is that there's all these hyenas there now, and they're super powerful, and there is no place to go over here. Oh, over here. Okay. So there's a lot of coal in the coal mine, so that's cool. So this will definitely be where I need to come to get coal. I can just scoop it up here. And cool. Chopped off the top of his head. Didn't I see a pile of books in here? Oh, they're in that other section. Dang it, I screwed it up. Oh, I can get up here though. Off-road vehicles. You'd think a pile of books would be more than one book. Nice. Man, I just, after we got done with Conan though, and then the next 2 sessions, Zahn wasn't there, and it was just me and Dem. I told you, I'm like getting tired of his, I call it mothering helicopter parenting that he's trying to do of us. Did you get your blood? Did you get your potions? Everybody got potions. And then when you get there, wherever it is you're going, then he's like, I could use a potion. Does anybody have a potion I could use? And then you give him a potion, and then 5 minutes later, he's using a potion of the same thing that you gave him because he has a bunch. He just doesn't want to use his. And so that's shady and more than a little annoying. I've unlocked the anvil. Cool. I've unlocked hunting rifles. Quality 2. And, alright, so I need to mark this on the map as... That's nice but cool. And it actually was accident to hit H. Coal mine. Oh, I figured that zombie would be here to hit me in the face, but he did not. He did not. So... oh, man. There's like two big things that went down. Three big things that went down. I guess, and they occurred over a couple of days. So basically, he controls the server, right? And so the save game is his, and he so he plays a bit in between our sessions, and sometimes. And anyway, so whatever settings are happening are settings that he has set himself. And so one of the things that is currently in there, I don't know if it's I assume it's default settings, is that you can only have 2 castle hearts per person. And so that means you can only build like you got the map, and then you put down a castle heart, and then you can build around that castle heart. But you can't build if you haven't put down a castle heart. So you're limited to 2 places that you can build. And so, I built the first castle and with my castle heart, and then I, went and started and built the second castle, which is our main castle that we use. And then I was thinking, man, we never go to the other castle. And so I took a lot of that other castle out and used the components in the new castle, because, why go hunt down the rare materials to build some of the machines when I can just take the machines from the castle we're no longer going to use, And so that's what I did. And so, so the old castle is still there with my castle heart. And so I went out and I tried to tear it down. But what I discovered was you have to tear down everything before you can tear it down. And I didn't want to waste the materials, so I loaded up my inventory, and then I came back, and then I didn't make it back out to finish tearing my castle down. And so we were trying to fight this boss, and we're getting pretty close. He's real. I don't know. My problem was this. He would do something here, and I would be here, and because this wall was between me and what he was doing, it wouldn't show up on my screen until I stepped here, and then I'd take like a full blast in my face of whatever it was he was doing. Even though when you're standing here, there are markers on the floor letting you know he was doing it, there are no markers when I was standing over here. And so I just kept stepping out into blast and getting killed. And so it was making it real tough to get through the fight. And so V Rising has basically corpse runs. At least the settings we have it on. I don't know what settings you can change, but we have corpse runs anyways. And so, you know, you die, you gotta go back and hunt down your stuff. And I mean, you know where it's at. It's on the map. It shows you where it's at. It's not that bad of a corpse run, but still, you have to get back to it. And when you're fighting a boss, then your stuff is laying like right at the feet of the boss, and so that can be annoying. And so we wanted to build a new castle. No, not a castle. We wanted to build a teleporter near that guy. There was a spot just south of him, or north of him on the map, and then that way we could cut out like 10 plus minutes of running through bad guys to get back to where he was at. And so Dim is like, oh man, we need to put down another teleporter. I'm like, yeah, that'd be a great idea. And now my one castle heart, right, is tied up in the old castle. My new castle heart is in the new castle. Oh crap. And so I don't have any castle hearts. And so then he's like, oh, you know what, I'll just take down mine at the cotton fields, because we don't really use the cotton fields anymore, because we can send our people to get cotton and stuff. And then we can use that one, because the one at the cotton fields is literally a castle heart and a teleporter. Super easy, right, to tear down. And so so that's what he says. And then the next time we play, he's like, yeah, so we really need to get a teleporter over there. And I'm like, yep. And he's like, so what we gotta do to tear down your other castle? And I'm a little irritated because, right, he'd already said he was going to tear down his teleporter that we weren't using. But he might want to use it, he says. And fine, but, you know, it's bizarre to me that he thinks he's within his right to volunteer someone else's stuff, you know? I mean, I know we're trying to work together, supposedly. It doesn't feel like it is the problem. And and so, you know, I found it a little irritating. And then while I was out doing stuff, collecting resources, he went and started tearing down my castle. And so then, nice, lucky looter. And so I'm just like, not the one we use, clearly, but he tore down the old castle. I don't know what he did with the stuff. As far as I know, he just threw it on the ground. And so then he so then when I get back to base, you know, and he's like, we're gonna put in that teleporter at the other place. I'm like, yeah, well, I'm not up to it tonight. It's getting too late. And we quit at a certain point, usually, and we were at that point. And, you know, I get to the point where I don't want to play anymore from his shenanigans. And so, okay. The medical stuff is more important, I feel. And so, you know, I get on the next time, and we have a warrior that we got to 100. And so I like the rogue class better because the rogue class gives you a chance to parry. And so I was kind of out looking for a rogue. We've been looking for a worker because the worker lets you gather resources easier. And so I was basically out looking for high level minions we could get. And so um he's like yeah, so I got all the stuff that you need and I've thrown it on the ground there in the base. So, you know, you need to come get the stuff at the base and then take it out there and build that teleporter near where we're fighting that guy. And I was like, okay. And he's like, well, it needs to be done. I'm like, okay, but I'm not at the base right now. I'm looking for guys. Yeah, but it needs to be done. I'm like, okay. Does it need to be done right now? Well, yeah. How else are we gonna fight that guy? I'm like, well, we're not fighting that guy tonight. I'm like, there's only like 30 minutes of our play session left, and we might as well wait for Zahn to be here because you have to be at the site of a boss kill to get the abilities and recipes from the boss. Like they've already killed one while I was on, but didn't wait for me to get there when the dim sucked the blood out of it, causing him and Zahn to get the abilities, but I wasn't there, so I didn't get them, and he didn't wait. And so now we gotta go back and fight that boss again. And so I'm like, yeah, we should just wait for Zahn. And uh, so I get back to base with all the stuff I picked up, and I go back. I teleport, not at the teleport closest to where I was going, but the next teleport over. And I start walking in the direction of where we're going to build the teleporter. Now that I've got all this stuff on me to use my second heart to put down this teleporter. And he's like, oh, I thought you came back to base and got the stuff to put the teleporter in, but I guess you're not doing that. I suppose I'll go and start tearing down my other teleporter. I'll tear down the one at the cotton fields, I guess. I don't want to, because you know we might want that one to get over to the marketplace. But you know, I mean, since you don't seem to want to put down, I'm like, dude, what do you want? I'm currently walking toward the direction to put down the teleporter. I picked up the stuff. Well, you didn't take the closest one. I'm like, that's because I'm hunting for people. I'm not allowed to hunt for people as I walk to the spot to put down the teleporter. Like, I've got 30 minutes before we're done for the night. I think I got time to walk one extra teleport space over, because the game has there are vampire, I don't remember what they're called, vampire waygates, and then you can build your own private waygates. And so the vampire waygates are just the ones that are already in the place. And so I used the vampire waygate and I started walking looking for people, and he just like lost his mind that I didn't immediately snap to, salute, and do what he said. It's getting bad. I don't know why he's acting like this. He's never acted like this before. It's really, really starting to annoy. And then, oh man. And then I'm like, I went out to get, right, I was looking for guys, and I found one, and I thought it was a rogue. I didn't check to see what it was. I just thought it was a rogue because, well, it carried knives and it went invisible when it attacked me, and it seemed very roguelike to me. But apparently it was classified as a warrior. Maybe. I don't know. I didn't see what it was classified as. And so I got it and I sent it back to base. And then And then he's like, I don't know why you sent that guy back. I'm like, because we're looking for new minions or new prisoners to drain blood from. Because you have to drain blood from creatures and people to give yourself passives, and then your magic is based off of your blood. So you you spend the blood to use your special abilities, kind of thing. And so we're always needing blood. We've got one guy who's currently at 100% power level, which just means you get some passives from him. It's nice. It's not necessarily uh, a need, but it's a nice thing to have. And we got one guy who's at 100 blood. And so I sent back like a 90, 97, I think. And he's like, yeah, that guy you sent back as a warrior. I'm like, oh, well, that's weird because, he looked like a rogue, but I didn't even think to check, honestly. And he's like, well, we don't really need it, so I'm just going to kill him. And then he just kills the guy I sent back, right? He sends guys back all the time that are like level 22, level 45. I sent back a 97, and I'm like, dude, you should have tried to see if we get another 100 out of that. That way we could get blood out of him, or, you could have try to raise him, and then drain him dry until he was dead instead of just choosing kill. He's like, oh yeah, well I didn't think about that. I'm like, yeah, I'm sure it didn't, since it wasn't your guy. And then I get back, and it turns out we already have a 92 rogue in the cells. Now nobody's using any of the blood, right? That's not the 100. We have one. We have one warrior at 101, and so that's the only blood we ever use is the blood from that 100 warrior. And so, like I said, I've been looking for other guys to replace that stuff, uh, and so um, I go back and, like I said, we have a 92 rogue. Well, there's a pretty high chance that instead of raising their levels, instead what you'll do is you'll turn them into a monster, and then you've got to fight the monster, right? And so, man, totally missed that thing. And so that means that Dim doesn't ever want to attempt to raise their levels because they might turn into a monster. And he's like, yeah, but we need that rogue. I'm like, well, we're not using that rogue. We should try to get him to 100 so that, we're willing to use that guy as well. And so we tried. We had to feed him a couple of times, and it failed, and he turned into a monster. But what did he say to me? Uh, 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 he goes, well, I guess you can go and try and convert that rogue, at least until you ruin him, which is what I'm expecting you to do. That's what he said to me. I'm like, seriously, man? Like, yeah. And then, uh, okay, so we got ruined. So what? We weren't using him. We weren't using him. We weren't using the. We were using that guy. You know why? Because he's not 100, and we've got a guy who is 100. So why would we ever use the guy who's not 100? I don't understand his thought process. I feel like it's just because it was the guy he captured, and he doesn't want anybody to touch the things that he's captured. While he goes around using everything that we've done, and And so, it's frustrating. Um, yep, guns. No, not guns. What did I want to do here? I had something I wanted to. Oh yeah, it was guns. It was guns. I want to put these feathers in there. Antibiotics. Man, I need to get more antibiotics. And then my last story from V Rising. Oh, dude. So I go out, and like I said, I'm out doing stuff out in the world, collecting things and sending things back and bringing things back, and oh yeah, I can make an anvil now too. And I need clay and iron. I definitely haven't been putting a lot of iron in there because I use it to repair some of my stuff. And so he's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, because he's not with me. And he's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Why?" And he's like, "I just wonder what you were out there doing." I'm like, "Well, I'm getting supplies for potions because we use all the supplies for potions constantly, and our garden doesn't grow them back fast enough. And so I wanted to get some more rose." And I'm like, "Oh, and I just found a whole bunch of copper." So I'm grabbing the copper. What do we need copper for? I'm like, "Well, we need it for we need the copper to make whetstones." And he's like, "Well, I can just send guys out for whetstones." I'm like, "Yeah, but they come back with like 12, and we need like hundreds." And so if I'm just walking along, I see some copper, I hit the copper while I look for guys and mine blood rose. Just that's what I'm doing. And so I bring back all this copper and I put it in the forges, and then I go back out, and then he's like, "Why are all these forges cooking copper?" I'm like, "Because we need copper." "What do we need copper for?" I'm like, "I just told you like 15 minutes ago. I'm making whetstones. Because I need whetstones to make scourge stones. I need scourge stones to make spectral dust. I need spectral dust to cook the silver ore we brought back. We have like 9 stacks or so of silver ore still waiting to be processed. I think we've got enough silver ore, or enough dark silver done." I'm like, "What?" I'm like, "Well, I looked earlier and I needed a bunch, and it's like pretty expensive to repair our gear. And we're still making weapons and stuff occasionally, so I don't know that we do have enough dark silver." And he's like, No, we do. There's like we got like 182 dark silver." I'm like, "Okay, but it's like 12 each to repair our tools and weapons, and I personally am carrying 5 different weapons because they do different things, and tools, and so yeah, so I mean, what else are we gonna use it for? We don't need dark silver, or we don't need dark silver ore at the moment for anything. And when we do, we can just send guys to the mines for it. But right now, we can use dark silver ingots for things. And it takes a long time to process that, so we need the spectral dust, which is why I was getting the copper. He's like, "You know what? I think we should stop making dark silver." I'm like, "Ugh, why? Why can't I make dark silver?" "Well, because if we take the dark silver, or we take the silver ore and we combine it with iron bars, we can make silver coins, and that's useful." I'm like, "No, we don't use the coins. That's the whole thing, is we don't use our coins. We have a chest full of copper and silver coins. When was the last time you used it for something? Seriously." So yeah, so he shut down all the dark silver processing while I was out because he wants coins. Coins that we don't use. Because the next level of coin I don't think uses silver. It's gold ore, which we don't have access to yet. I don't even know where it's at on the map. And something else to make the gold ore. I don't think silver is in it at all. So there's no reason that we can't be making dark silver ingots that we actually use. Yeah. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. All right, well, this has gone on long enough. In fact, it's gone on too long. I can never do these episodes. It seems like in half-hour chunks. It's always like 45 minutes every time. So with that, be bearing the small things, lean to the light, and I will talk to you later.